boys and girls. This morning I'm going to read to you a story called Clever Tom and the Leprechaun. We started this last Friday, but we ran out of time as we usually do, so I thought today would be the perfect chance on St. Patrick's Day to go ahead and share that with you. As I'm reading the story to you today, I'd like for you to use one of our strategies that help us out. And our little eaglet here, Eagle Eyes, say hi to the boys and girls, there we go, is here to help remind us of the strategy of using our eagle eyes to look at the picture for a clue for what the word might be if we don't know that word. And as Mrs. Finkel was peeking at the story today, I think there's going to be a lot of words in here that we can use that strategy for. So we've got our author there, Linda Shute, and here's the title, Clever Tom and the Leprechaun. All right, here we go. All right. One fine day, on Lady Day in the harvest, Tom Fitzpatrick took a ramble down the lane. Click, clack, click, clack, he heard through the hedge, so Tom tiptoed closer to take a look. And look at here. I see in the background there's this row of trees, and since it said he heard through the hedge, I'm going to presume that this must be a hedge, a row of trees right there. All right, let's see what Tom's up to. The clacking sound stopped when Tom peeped through the bushes, and in the shadow, what did he see? Why, a big gallon pitcher and a teeny tiny man with a brown leather apron and a three-cornered hat. So let's see, which word on that page is a little bit hard? When I think of the word picture, sometimes I think of taking a picture, but that can't be what we're talking about today, because I don't see any pictures here like hanging on a wall. I know that this is a teeny tiny man, and this is brown, so it must be his apron. Aha, do you spy it? Yep, there it is. This must be what a pitcher is, so it looks like a container that holds fluids. Up the small man climbed on his wee wooden stool. Oh, I noticed that stool is very small. That must be another way to use the word wee. Not like our sight word W-E, but to mean teeny tiny. Wee is teeny tiny. And dipped his little piggin into the crock. Oh, he's dipping a little mug into the crock here, so that must be what a piggin is. Then he settled down with his full mug beside him to hammer on the heel of a fairy-sized shoe. By the powers, thought Tom, it's a leprechaun. If I catch him and scare him, he'll give me his gold. Since I'm a clever fellow, that should be simple. Before the sun sets, I'll have my fortune made. Well, it sounds a little bit of a tricky idea there.
You're right, it is.
Yeah, it is a tricky idea. Tom stared at the leprechaun and tried not to blink. Would you blink? That would be hard not to do. He knew that if he looked away, the old man would escape. Then he crept up quite near and tipped his hat politely, saying, "Good day to you, neighbor. Blessings on your work." "Thank you kindly," said the small one, but he never looked up. He just kept on tapping at the heel piece of the brogue. Wait a minute, a brogue? I don't know what a brogue is. I do know what a heel is. Yeah, a heel's on a shoe. Oh, look. Oh, the picture's pretty tiny there. All right, boys and girls, do you see what's right there in the leprechaun's hand? Yep, it's a little shoe there. So a brogue must be a name for a type of shoe. Good thing we have pictures to help us figure out the mystery when we don't know something. Tom moved his hand closer while he smiled very sweetly and said, "Today's a holiday. You shouldn't have to work." The leprechaun frowned and answered Tom sharply, "If I do that, that's my business and none of your own. Instead of pestering me, young man, you ought to be watching your father's fields. Look there, the cows have broken to the oats. See, they're knocking the corn all about. Cows in the cornfield?" Tom's head started turning. I'm thinking oats must be another kind of food, since we can figure out from the words that it's something that grows. But he wasn't fooled by the leprechaun's trick. Quickly he grabbed the sly fellow and cried, "Now you're my prisoner. Tell me, where is your gold?" The leprechaun wiggled and twisted and whined. "I'm just a poor man." But Tom held him fast. "You and I both know you're lying," said Tom, and he made a fierce, frightening face. Well, the idea of lying is very frightening to me. We know that's wrong. Finally, the leprechaun quit squirming and said, "Tom Fitzpatrick, you're too clever for me. I see you are after my buried treasure, so I'll have to show you where it is hid." Guess he's going to tell him. With his eye on the bitty man locked in his fist, Tom followed where the leprechaun led him. He traced over a hill and under the hedges, and through a ditch across the peat bog. At last, just when Tom feared he'd been hoodwinked. Oh boy, there's a lot to talk about here. If we follow the pictures, we can kind of see the order the story went in, can't we? We can see all the places he went. What do you think hoodwinked means? I'm thinking he thinks he might have been tricked. I think that makes sense with the rest of the story. Let's find out. He found himself in a great field of weeds. Wait a second. I know a sentence starts with a capital, so I must have turned too many pages. Let's go back and look. Oh, look it. Here it is. There was a comma. It wasn't a new sentence. The sentence kept going. He found himself in a great field of weeds. "Dig there," said the leprechaun, pointing to a bush. "Deep under the bullion is where I put my gold." "Thunder Nation," said Tom, "I need to fetch my spade, but when I return, I'll be lost. There are 40 acres of bullions here, and each plant looks just like the other." Boys and girls, do you know the word bullion? I thought that was something that flavored chicken soup. Well, there's no chicken soup in this picture, is there? Nope. Well, I do see lots of plants. And wait, it said deep under that bullion. Could it be under a plant? That would make sense. And when they said 40 acres, acres of measurement. That's how we measure fields for farmers. There's lots and lots of that, so bullion must be a plant that grows. Maybe it grows in Ireland. Boys and girls, I'm going to pause this video and I'm going to start it up on a second just to make sure I'm going to be able to download it and it won't be too long.